will help with you guys too. Okay, so hello all. Our website, Compendium Caidis, it was started by Colfina Cotter in spring of 2008. So it's been around for quite some time. She was inspired by the Antier Culture Wiki at the time. And if you look at that page, there are some things that are still similar, like the formatting for persona pages are similar and the like. So she got permission to copy some of their things, and then but it's evolved separately since then in the past, whatever it is, past years. The site was actually opened to the public on June 6th, 2008. And I have a typo there, so I'm fixing that. Early on, it was maintained by a small group of editors, but Colfina convinced the powers that be to allow the website to be opened up to any SCA member who has an interest in editing. And that created a real flowering of content for many years. In the beginning, memberships could be created by anyone, though to have editing rights, you've always had to ask permission from an administrator who will put you in a group where you can actually edit pages. Eventually, the system for making new accounts was exploited by bots, and we ended up with thousands of random usernames. So in 2013, the account creation was also locked, and only administrators can do that. So the way to get a new account is to email the administrators and request an account. I guess you guys all have it. Eldrith, if you want an account, that's fine too. If I know you're looking for your own, you've got your own thing that you have to take care of back at home. But if you are interested, let me know and I could set you up with one. Of course, that's one of those. This is why we can't have nice things. Everybody, the website does get attacked once in a while, but we've been pretty good at keeping actual graffiti from occurring. And a big part of that is obviously nobody is anonymous on the wiki, and any edit that is done is kept and recorded, and we can find out who wrote the original one. We've had I can't even think of a time when we've had to censure anybody for their content. I think one time I said I didn't like the tone of something, and the editor quickly changed it. Image upload rights have been restricted since 2011. First, the SCA required it be tightened up, and since then it's loosened up because we've had we have a different way of looking at the liability of photos now. In 2014, the website became maintained by the Wiki Caid Foundation, which is a separate nonprofit corporation. And our view of image use is that by uploading an image, the uploader is giving permission to publish that image indefinitely. However, if we get a complaint, we will take that image down immediately. I don't know of any times when we've gotten actual copyright complaints. There's been a few times when people have complained that they didn't like the image of them on the wiki, and we've had to take them down. That's just fine. I prefer the language of Compendium Caidis to be encyclopedia, similar to the way the Wikipedia uses it, is that things should be in third person, even if you're writing on the article about your persona, you should write in the third person that, you know, he's a Viking ninja from Brussels as opposed to I'm a Viking ninja from Brussels. The purpose of the site is to tell the story of Caid and all of the Caidin. So we welcome that sort of content of particularly persona stories and the like. And then facts are wonderful. The times when somebody was an officer or when they got an award or that sort of thing. And dates are typically American style, which is month, day, year. But if only part of a date is known, a little bit is better than nothing, even if it's happened in 1987 or circa late 80s or something like that. It's very much appreciated.
Lachlan, there was a policy for a while towards the beginning not to list all of your awards. Is that sort of gone by the wayside? Because I see that on.
Yes, it has essentially gone by the wayside. Good question. And originally, yes, we had a policy pretty strictly against listing, like having a listing of all the awards. Mm-hmm. Typically, you say, if a person's a baroness, it's going to say baroness so and so, and she received her barony from this king and queen, if that's their highest thing. Mostly, the original thought was not to duplicate the work of the order of precedence. And I appreciate that. But people want to talk about their awards. That's an important thing to people, and so why shouldn't they talk about it? If you want to put a list of all your awards, that's perfectly fine. Realize that we aren't going to make sure that's accurate necessarily, and we're not going to make sure it's up to date if you get a new award. Recently, within the last 5 years or so, we've figured out the coding so that there's a link actually on every persona page, which goes directly to that person in the order of precedence. So if you want the best information, click the link, but it is perfectly fine now to list your awards if that's what you find that you're proud of. And also, of course, be courteous when writing on the wiki. As I said, there are no anonymous posts, so if you say something nasty, we'll know. And you have to use some chivalry if you're writing about events. When events go astray, try not to be too harsh on those people who may have caused the problem. It happens. So I think I will share screens now if I can figure out how to do that. What screen? Screen 1. Share. Yeah. It's our main page. And it is, the main page is locked for only administrators. So it won't be something that you would be able to edit without requesting help. The site has a number of templates which can be reached at help table of contents, help templates. And what these sorts of things are the templates that, for example, will build this section of a page. There's specific ones for events, specific ones for groups, specific ones for awards. And on each one, each of these is a template talk page. One that's particularly useful is here, template talk populace. You click on that. This is actual markup that you can just copy. If you want to make you're starting a new populace page, and you just want to make a stub, you can copy this little piece of code. That'll give you that sidebar. It'll give you a heading, and it'll give you that's about it on the stub. If you want a full things, this is good. Sort of, this the full markup, which includes the sidebar and a bunch of suggestions for sections for, associates, offices and positions is a very common one. Event staff is pretty common. Less commonly used are, well, death is for a specific purpose, obviously. More information, probably most pages don't use that title, but these are some suggestions. You can add your own to an article as you feel appropriate also. But this is a quick way you can, you can grab all of that, Control C, go to the page, pretend this is empty, hit edit, and copy it into this box. That did not work. Okay, well, I'm not sure why that doesn't work at the moment. Pasting into this window is not working for me. Okay, that threw me off. Oh, because I'm in view source.
It's real world like problem,
I have gotten logged out. Excuse me a moment.
So I know that one of the important things when you're setting up a new Populous page is there's that thing at the bottom where there's a space to put in the first letter of the person's first name. And that's important because that alphabetizes them in a different list. So those,
yeah, so
yeah.
Be specific. If we go to the Populous page, originally Populous was in one huge list, which this is actually the beginning of the list. It's got pages and pages, just of A's. And it became impossible to go next page to get to somebody who was in the T's or whatever. So later on, we created this system where you can just go to Populous T, and here are the people whose names start with T. And that is accessed by that category at the bottom, category plus Populous M for this person. When you paste it in, it'll be a special character that just puts it in one category so I can see that, oh, this needs to be updated with a name. But when you make a new one, go ahead and put the first initial in here, and it'll get properly categorized with their name.
So
initial.
That's not on the template?
It is included in the template, yeah.
Okay.
So help table of contents, help templates, and it's even on that's pretty much all that's in the quick template market. This is the category Populous French close quote. The purpose of this character is just to make it alphabetized in one spot. So when you paste a new one in, one of the first things you'll want to do is actually change that to the initial of the person that you're creating.
So Ram, it's there. It's just one of the things that you need to put in. So there's like, that's important. And then other categories are important because that's how the wiki knows to put things in certain places. So for instance, if I create a new page for somebody who's a scribe, there's a category scribes. And so that's one of the things that that I routinely add in. So if the person is up here, there's pelican pages and laurel pages. And so those are all categories that you would want to make sure that you put in.
Okay, fantastic.
And sort of thing it creates is, so here is a category list. Right now, it's just these two test pages that I created for these classes, Arthur and Morgaine. A neat and as Alice Guy said, there's laurels, knights, pelicans, groups, awards. These are all categories that you can look up. Certain events, like I think there's a coronation category and a 12th night category, and so you can go to all of the articles about all of the coronations of Caid. A neat trick with that also is if I edit this page, I'll get to that in a bit. I'm getting a little out of order. Any page can be linked to by putting the title of that page in double square brackets. So Arthur of Camelot here is a link that I've added to this page, and it looks like this. And it takes you to the Arthur of Camelot page. Any of these subtitles can also be used as targets. So if I wanted to send somebody to the photos of Morgaine, I could actually make a link that goes exactly to this spot on this page. So if you want a link that doesn't have the name of the article exactly as it is, that's a code that's similar to this one here, where I'm saying, I want to link to the page that's called Llandomir, but I want the link, this is a pipe, the vertical line character, but I want it to say the Llandomir levy. That link is right here, the Llandomir levy. If you look at the target down at the bottom, you can see that it's sending me to Llandomir, even though this says something different. And pipes can be used in many different places to change what text is displayed. And in fact, one place I use it a lot is in this populace. For a person whose name starts with a special character, for example, Eowyn Amberdrake, her name starts with a E Egut, capital E Egut. If we just entered her name in as her registered name, then it would be categorized at the very end of all of the E's. And so somebody might look under, well, her name is EO, I don't see it here because it's way down at the bottom. With her page, I've redirected it. This thing is in the way. How do I make this move? Okay, there we go. She has quite a well-developed page, so it'll take me a moment. At the very bottom is her category. You can see that on all of her categories, we have pipe, Eowyn, Amberdrake. So that will allow her name to be alphabetized as Eowyn, not Eowyn. That saves a lot of if you want to look, obviously you can cancel without, go to the Laurels page. You can find her under, actually on this page it would be even worse because she wouldn't even be in the E's section, she would be down here below Zoltan. Other things for emphasis, another markup that's commonly used is emphasis. King Arthur, these double apostrophes will create an italicized text in Arthur. If we change that to 3 apostrophes, and very important when you're editing to come down and hit show preview before you save changes, because it's easy to make mistakes and to see them, use show preview. That's changed it to boldface. So 3 apostrophes, 1, 2, 3 apostrophes is a bold-faced markup. Lists are typically, these are bullet lists, so you start each line with an asterisk, and that creates code that looks like this, bullet list. If I wanted to change that to a numbered list, I can switch these to hashes, show preview. And it's now become a numbered list. And the other markup we sometimes use for list type things is colon. So this creates a list without a marker. We don't really use it for lists. What this tends to be used for is for poetry. There's many pages where people have put their poetry in, and instead of ending up, if you type a line, hit enter, type a line, hit enter, it's going to space it out, right? It's going to have a line, treat each of those lines as a new paragraph. So a cool way to make poetry look like poetry is to use this unmarked list. And so each line of your poem makes, formats nicely. I should have probably written some poetry here on my template, but that for the next class. I'm going to cancel those changes. May not be saved. Yes, not saved. And we're back to the original. Was there any other section titles are created with equal signs, and if we want a subtitle, we can do three. Will make a persona. Here's the title. Other stuff is a subtitle. We have a third level. Each of these can be used as a target for links from other pages. I should probably explain. I almost never use it, so that's why I don't use it. So let's do what I was saying earlier. If we go to our associate, Arthur of Camelot, here's Arthur's page, which somebody developed quite a bit. I actually didn't make most of this content. And I want to link to Morgane's page. I'm hoping this works because I almost never use it. That doesn't look promising. Oh, it did work. Okay, so it took me directly to the photos. So that code, once again, was to put sharp in the exact location I wanted to send it to. And then to make that look nice, I could have said, this link that says Morgaine goes to Morgaine's photos. What is that? Do you have any further questions about, I saw this happen on this page, how do I make it happen?
Can you talk a little bit about the code that you need to put in to do photographs? There's a, I know that the way the template works, there's a spot for a photo of you in costume, but I know there's a little code that goes after that, and I know that when I'm putting up photographs, there's a little code that you put in. I guess it's a size thing, and that's,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was going to head into image
Oh.
uploading. That's
sorry.
fine. No. It's actually the next heading in my in my script. Sorry, I'm forgetting that you guys are over here. Were there any other questions about text markup?
The question that I had is more about the area of the page on the persona page where you have under information and resides in status and things like that.
Mhm. Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. So why don't we edit this again? This is, yeah, basically the sidebar, right, is what you were asking about. It
Yeah.
is obviously on all persona pages. Here is the image code that Alice Guy was just talking about. This code is saying, put this JPEG in the spot and make it 300 pixels wide, which is the standard for our sidebar, but it could be different if you, there are some cases like in events where we want, there's some like, I don't know, really wide picture. And so we tell it can be wider. Templates typically have these places where you can put in predetermined or expected text. So under each one is a caption, which turns into Morgaine. Then we have the section of location, status, and the link to the order of precedence is automatic. I'm not going to click that because this is not a real person or even a real SCA person, and it won't work. And one further item for the blazon of the arms. What was your question, Kita?
I was just pointing out that was a thing that wasn't covered in the part of the persona, because that's also stuff that gets populated on the page, and you want to.
Right. When you paste it in directly from the template code that I showed you, this will have like a generic picture that says photo needed. This will have a generic picture that says device needed, I think, and then hopefully you have that information, but many pages do not.
Yes.
I love it when I see a new picture come up. That it really excites me, especially like, I recently got contacted by a fellow, and he wasn't SCA, but his wife was, and she had passed. And so he sent me a picture, and I'm like, oh, I'm so thrilled to have, a specific photo of this person, and we put her in the memoriam, and I appreciated having a chance to actually record her appearance here. Regarding photos, it used to be quite open. Anyone could upload. Again, that was tightened up and made more loose afterwards. It is still restricted that not everyone who signs up for an account gets the rights to upload automatically. That's something that is even further restricted, that please request. Now I'm really, trusting, and I'll probably go ahead and let you have it, but I'll also, tell you to be careful with what you upload, as much as possible. Give attribution for where the photo came from, if you know when it was taken, who the subject is, that sort of thing is appreciated. And if it's abused, then I could take it away. I've never had an occasion to take somebody's upload rights away. But once again, if you do not have the ability to upload, which you would see, if you do have the ability, over on the left side, there's the toolbox, and upload file would appear if you have those rights. If you do not see upload file, email me and I can fix that for you. Speaking of which, I think it is, let's go back to main page. Okay, admin@caidwiki.org. Thank you, Wiki. Now I remember my email address. Admin@caidwiki.org will get an email to me.
It is 9:45 and these classes are 50 minutes. So this is your 5-minute warning.
Okay.
You could go over 5 minutes if you
Okay.
need to. So
Okay, images is all I'm going to talk about further, so let's get on to that. Uploading images. When you do have upload rights, you can click on the upload file and it gives you a place where you can browse for your image. I'm going to add picture lady. That has added this image to the wiki now. The name of it, file ladym.jpg. You can change that to make something make sense if you feel like it. Over here, the basic way to enter in a photo is the name of the thing, I think that should make, actually, that's added. That looks like bigger than 200. My width did not work. Shoot. Sorry about that. I'm not excited. I need to look that up. And okay, so I so rarely use these kinds of but I happen to know where one is. Okay, I didn't need the width equals. So here is a photo, Tanska and Catherine JPEG, width is 300 pixels, alignment is right. So pipe, 300 pixels, pipe, right. and that has put it ended up down here, but made it 200 pixels wide. You can see it's not as wide, and it's aligned to the right. You can align it to the left. Maybe that would have been better. And now it is put it on the left. My personal preference, however, is to use a gallery. This is kind of cheating the code a little bit because this is HTML instead of wiki markup, but a gallery is a thing we can use to make these sort of bunch of pictures. It has this opening, which I recommend maybe come to Morgane of Avalon. You can grab the opening code. Just like this, it has the name. We can add another one. After the pipe is whatever you want your caption to be. And now she has been added to my gallery. The heading of the code tells me I want all of my pictures to be either 150 pixels wide or 100 pixels tall, whichever is going to fit the best. And if I have a whole bunch of them, I want only 6 on a row. That's, I guess, all of I had planned to present at this time. Were there any other questions? Let me stop screen sharing.
Thank you, Lachlan. There were several things that I did not know that you talked about. But I would just say that if you're interested in doing this stuff, when I started, I would just go to pages sometimes and hit edit and look at the code. And then sometimes just go in and, well, on my own page and make weird changes and then hit, preview and see what happened and go, oh. And then change it back.
Yeah, preview, important button, preview.
Preview, yeah.
You should be hitting preview 3 times as often as you hit submit.
At least, yeah.
It's fun. It really is to go in and edit a page.
And you are definitely welcome to edit beyond just the article about yourself. There's no way we're going to get everybody on this, to edit their own page. Please, if you know something, anything, even to the, I recommend against writing persona stories for other people, unless you really know them well and you remember that they were, a Scot or whatever, particularly people who are no longer with us for one reason or another.
Now, what about creating pages for past events? I know that in our barony, we had someone was very diligent about it back in like 2005. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of fell off doing that. And there used to be links to all of these, events and things, and the events pages just kind of went away and people stopped doing them.
Yeah,
is there like a hierarchy to that, or can anybody go in and do that?
Anyone can go ahead and create event pages. Hopefully that it would be on the calendar list already for the year. So you can go to events, 2017 or whatever, events 2017, and go down and find the event you want. You'll have to edit the page and make that a link, square bracket around the name of the event, and save that. And once you do, you can click on that. It'll be red. It'll say, do you want to create this page? Go over to the templates, grab the event template, copy it, and paste it into the code and start from there.
I just made one for an event page for Great Western War for like 2018 because no one had done one. And there was an awards roll presented that day. And I want to go back and put in some information about the event, but right now there's an event page for that. And yes, a lot of the event pages haven't been created, and that's kind of sad. We should.
Yeah. One thing I really would like to see happen is soon go through the last year's worth of virtual events, put them on a calendar, and each page should have a link to the video on YouTube, and any awards that were given away or whatever, write them down. That's a project I'd like to see happen. So is anybody interested in that project? We'll get that started.
I was gonna say, by the way, in the background, I'm on the wiki here, and I was just gonna say the events page listings are populated out to 2029. So
2019.
actually, I'm seeing in the 2020s it says 2029.
Oh yeah, okay. I guess at some point we added. Well, at the beginning of the decade, we added all
It's
the
a
years.
nice clear block with the other decades that are there. It goes back to the 70s. So if you have information about any of those events,
Yeah, or photos from those events,
go
please.
there and add them.
All right, I think we're good. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for your questions and your patience with me as I occasionally ran into technical difficulties.
Thank you so
Real-world
much.
problems. Thank you very much for.
Thank you very much.
And I hope it does help you in Atlantia. And
Oh
best
yeah,
of luck to you.
definitely. I got some great ideas.
Okay, great.